covered yourself in glory on this one. BMW, inch cape, going to say Ipswich from the number plate, IP. In fact, I'll look it up. Probably the worst condition new car I've seen in the last 12 months. Buffer trails all over it, swirls on the panels that they haven't bothered buffer trailing themselves. Watermarks, that's Tom coming back in.
Hello.
Who's had a racing haircut. Yeah, so a lot of defects for us to get out the light. A lot of defects for us to correct on this one. So we're going to get to it. Not too sure if it's going to be a 1 or 2 stage, so we'll find out, do a couple of little tests, phone the customer and give them the good news. Monday night, it's almost 6 o'clock. Tom's gone home. We've had quite a good day polishing the iX3 actually. Although it had lots of defects on it, they've come out okay. They've needed a lot more work, obviously around 4 hours extra polishing on top of the usual new car protection detail. There were some areas like on the bonnet. I took some video of me polishing the bonnet, and then once I'd actually polished through all the buffer trails that the dealership had left behind, you could see the deeper scratch that I'll overlay now that they were obviously trying to get out, hadn't got out, but it was so hazy from the buffer trails that they'd left behind that you couldn't even see that defect, or you kind of could, but it was just masked by all the other marks they'd left around it. Once those were gone, then you could see the remnants of the deeper lines. So then they were corrected as well, and then the whole bonnet refined. Almost the whole car is done, just got to do the bumpers in the morning, and then it's a fairly simple job from there on in. It was booked in for obviously new car detail with Serum Ultra, but without the glass or the wheel upgrade. So I'll show you kind of what we do just for the basic ones of those, get a bit of after footage, and it's a fairly short video on this one. Like I say, I wasn't actually planning on doing a video on this, but the condition of it was just so bad that it was another good example of why you shouldn't really let the dealership do the car. This was actually initially booked in for the dealership to do Gtechniq. Customer spoke to me a couple of weeks ago and we chatted about the differences. Differences in the product. Like I said to him, if Gtechniq is applied properly, I've never actually used Gtechniq, but I'm sure it's fine. It's better than having nothing on the car, but it's the way it's polished. If they'd just put Gtechniq on that, it would still look rubbish. Just like if I'd given them Gtechniq and they put Gtechniq on that, it would still look rubbish. It's not the Gtechniq that give you the oh, my arm's aching. I'm just gonna hold the camera differently. not the Gtechniq that gives it its looks, it's all the polishing, all the prep. I've said it before to people as well, maybe I've said it on here. If you're decorating your house and you go out and buy the most expensive, luxurious, let's say Faro and Ball paint, that's the poshest one that you find in B&Q often, a bit more expensive, but if you just paint that over crusty wallpaper, it's still going to look fairly crap. You need to do all the prep, all the clay, the decontamination, the polishing, the wipe down to make sure that it's ready to receive that sealant, that paint. Obviously not paint in this instance, but the sealant. So anyway, it's done. It's going to look great when it's finished. Customer's going to be happy. I'm going to provide the customer with video of the defects and of the polishing, showing the before and after, and a kind of just a written email saying what the defects were, and so hopefully he can put that to the dealership and they will contribute towards the extra polishing. All right, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Room's not quite big enough to get me and the car all in the shop, but it's now Tuesday night. Didn't get any footage of us doing the Crystal Serum Ultra, the wheels with Gtechniq C2, the glass with Gtechniq G5, and interior wipe over, and then leather seats were wiped with the L1 leather sealant. But I'll walk you around the car in a second. Just to recap, obviously it came in looking fairly sorry for itself, and it's now looking a lot shinier, and as a new car should. Sent the email over to the customer. Going to send him the link to this video when I upload it tonight as well, so that he can send it to the dealership. And it was on the far wing that I did that before and after, and you could clearly see how dull and hazy it was from the polishing marks before. Once the polishing had been done properly, how much glossier and clearer it was once all those tiny little abrasions from the polish. Because basically, I've said it before in other videos, the polisher is got thousands of abrasives all over the pad, and as the pad's turning, all of those abrasives are cutting into the panel. And then when they're not finished down properly, they leave microscopic little marks that are so close to each other, but all in the same direction, that it just looks hazy, and they're called holograms. You can see on the images as I'm moving the light around, the kind of the line of the light is like dancing around on the panel. What you want is to put the light on it and just get that nice pin sharp reflection, which is what you can see after I've polished. Anyway, if you're picking up a new car and you want it to be cared for properly, you want it to look like this, feel free to give us a call. We can explain what we do, the products we use, the processes we do. Even if you end up going to another detailer, it's better to have that discussion than just say yes to your dealership offering, because often there'll be a similar price to what an independent detailer will charge, and they'll try and get it done in an hour. I mean, I've worked in a lot of dealerships when I used to work mobile, and while I was in there preparing one car, they'd get through 6 or 7 cars in a day, literally with the salesman kind of coming in and giving the valeting company the keys and saying it's going out in an hour. And so they've then got to prep it and put the sealant on, allow that sealant to cure, and then it goes out within an hour. It's impossible. I mean, these take us 2 days to get done properly. So yeah, it's all profit for the dealership, and not that it's not profit for me. It's not, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't earning money, but it's we put a lot more time into it, and the end result I think speaks for itself. Thanks for watching. I'll show you around the car now, some final kind of just walk around showing you the BMW iX3 in Phytonic blue, I think it's pronounced. If I've got it wrong, I'm sure you'll put it in the comments. Cheers.